What's up, y'all? It's your girl J Rene with Prison Riot Radio. I hope that you're doing well. This afternoon we got Darrell Lavine back, okay? But this time we're going to be talking about mental health. So we hope that y'all can definitely tap into this one. Mental health is very important, and we're learning more and more about it each day. So here goes some more knowledge we're about to drop on that. Hey, how you doing, bro? Welcome back.
What's going on? It's your boy Darrell Lavine again. Everybody know me as Midnight. They just coming together to speak on a topic that is, in my opinion, something that is not out there to the world. You know, we have all these different things going on between police brutality and you know, even push for women's empowerment, which is something that I'm strongly behind, and other issues. But the one thing we do not hear about is mental health awareness. And me being someone who has overcame a whole lot, even surviving 2 suicide attempts, is something that I care about a whole lot, especially with being in a prison context and being surrounded around men who are suffering mentally with no form of help. So I just really want to bring about awareness to that.
Yeah, I like that you brought up the point of the things that are going on currently, because behavioral health and stuff like that can stem from childhood and stuff like that. But I don't think that many people probably look at or realize the things that are going on in society now, how it can affect our behavioral health.
Yes, absolutely. And a lot of the things that's going on there as well, with, of course, women fighting for their equality, with, guys that's caught up in gangs, people out there selling drugs, and all these different things that you see going on in society have a lot to do with adversity. And adversity is a big thing that's behind mental health problems. You have kids who grow up going through physical abuse. You have kids who grow up going through sexual abuse. Even something so small as, being ignored, which, would be broke down as, emotional abuse is something that can drive mental health issues. And a lot of these things are not out there and people don't know, so they wouldn't know what they're doing or what signs to look for. So it plays a big role.
Yeah, for sure. I know that you're probably familiar with the stigma that used to be in the urban community about behavioral health. It's definitely changing though. More people are talking about it and stuff like that. Have you ever thought about where you think that stigma might have came from?
I mean, it's many things that it could come from, and I'll be honest with you, like we could really go into a whole history lesson from the beginning of time of how things were going about. But it's really, when it comes to mental health, I think what people would have to understand is the brain as well as the mind in itself. And, this is where that 90% rule comes in, and it was something that I put in my book. And I couldn't remember exactly where I got it from. Instead, I started doing a lot more research on mental health. And, the 90% rule consists of, everything being mental. And the slogan that I live off of is, everything is 90% mental, no matter what it is. 10% physical. If you ever let the physical thing outweigh the mental, you will lose. And I could even take it deeper than that, even to, the spiritual grounds of it and what's in these spiritual books. And if you notice, the one thing they tell people to build up on is their mind. Even if you go into the New Testament, it tells you to, build, in the Old Testament it says build your temple, but in the New Testament it says renew your mind. And all that has to do with the brain and the head of thinking. So I think once people understand that, I think a lot more help will come about.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I want to ask you a question that's a little more personal. You said that you yourself have overcome some behavioral health things and mental health things. So would you care to elaborate a little bit on that?
Yeah. And as I'm speaking, I don't want anybody to think that when I speak of the issues that I have went through, it's speaking on any bad of my parents or anything like that, because they're loving parents, and especially where I'm at now and realizing it. But of course, I went through certain things, and me growing up between 2 separate households, and even with the crazy part of my whole story, I I was the product of a one night stand. So, it was just one time and then I was here. So it was back and forth between two households. My dad, he was in the service and, as well as an officer of the law, and, he stayed in the suburbs. And, my mom, she grew up more in the projects, and we're speaking of being in New Jersey. So going back between Bloomfield, going back between North, it's like my head is already looking in two different directions on top of being in two different households with two sets of rules. And yes, I understand now the discipline of my pops. Do I agree with it? No, not so, because of course I was the one on the other side of what would be considered the abuse. It was a little more harsh than what it should have been. And, that in the sense of defining in psychological terms or medical terms, that would be, considered trauma. So going through that and having to go from my pops to my mom's, and, my dad ended up winning custody of me in a court battle. So I lived through that, and then going back to my mother who stayed in the projects, and now I'm hit with poverty. Because with my dad, it was, I had everything that I wanted, everything that I needed. With my mom, it was more of a struggle and a fight. So now I'm really being awakened to the struggle, to the pain, to the suffering of not having. And what I did was, what people don't understand is, I was already committing suicide. Because when people hear suicide, the first thing that comes to mind is somebody's self-harming themselves, cutting their wrist or whatever the case may be. No, suicide is also defined as self-destructive ways and actions. And I was doing that by selling drugs. I was doing that by getting caught up in gang violence and all these different things, because I'm putting myself in jeopardy.
Right.
So it didn't really hit me until 2017, 2018, when I was one of 25 people chosen at that time to be someone who gets a bachelor's degree in ministry and counseling. And when I got to this facility where I'm at now, Nash Correctional, I was no longer around a facility being ran by gangs. I was no longer around area where drugs wasn't in the air. I was no longer where violence was. I'm somewhere where it's peaceful at. And it's like now I have to face reality. And, my escape from my struggles was to put myself in danger. Now I had no escape, and it hit me. And unconsciously, back in 2014, I called myself trying to turn up, as they say, and I took a bunch of medication that was not prescribed to me, and that was the process that started me having heart problems. But December 12th, 2018, I'll never forget it. I got tired. I said, I'm done with living, and I did the same thing, but I did it consciously this time, and I took a whole bottle of pills. And the Lord, I'm going to say the Lord, that's what didn't let me go. Each time I went to doze off, it was a bright light. And that third time, when I went to doze off, it's like something lifted me up from my bunk to the toilet, and I threw everything up. And then, from that day forward, it was like, I'm never doing this again. I done survived it twice, and they were calling on me, which is what I'm doing now. So it's a lot of struggles. I mean, going into the story, you can see, and I know many, many people are going through it.
Yeah, a lot of people are. I have, I've been to war twice, when I was in the military, and with stuff growing up. I came from some, abuse myself. But it's like that stuff really affects you, especially when you're younger. It affects you into your adulthood in ways that you don't even know. And then you add your own problems that you bring on yourself or come with adulthood, and it can be a lot. It's a lot of people, I think, that are out here that are suffering and they're afraid to get help. But, help definitely works. You know what I mean? Sometimes just to have somebody to talk to that you don't know, where you can vent. You know what I mean? Can do a lot of wonders, When it comes to behavioral health, let me ask you, the facility that you're at, do they promote that?
Not really, and it's actually something that I'm trying to do now. I even, put myself out there as a person to do it, as far as month, because here they do a quarterly little magazine thing here. But I went and I spoke to the psychologist myself, because I used to go to her for therapy. Okay. And overcome it now. I told you before in the last conversation, now I'm going to her to speaking of cases of stuff that's going on the facility, on the yard itself. And I told her I have no problem coming together and doing a monthly pamphlet to speak on mental health awareness, because it's not only the inmates in here who are suffering mentally, you have officers in here who have mental issues as well.
Right.
So it's bringing awareness to everybody as a whole.
Yeah, I think that's an awesome idea, and I hope that's something that they allow you to do. Behavioral health is important, especially in there, that has its own type of PTSD and trauma and psychological effects. I can only imagine.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think one of the things, especially with being in prison, where people that's on the outside doesn't get to see what I see firsthand, and you have a lot of people who come in here and
you have 60 seconds remaining.
They were going. I know this phone call's cutting off. I'm gonna have to call back in. But it's people are coming in here with issues, and the first thing that is being done is being prescribed medication instead of helping the individual going through cognitive therapy, or even as Sigmund Freud was saying. I know I'm throwing names out there that people might not know or understand, but he brought something called the psychoanalytic theory, and that's
you have 30 seconds remaining.
That may be unconscious. And instead of helping do that, they give people medication, and this medication does nothing but make things worse. Because it either suppresses or it creates something else that the person didn't have before. So it's a lot to it. I know this phone's cutting off, so let me go ahead and call back in so we can continue.
Okay.